Yo, you know what's cool? Collecting movies. I do it all. I collect movies, TV shows. That's about as far as it goes. But you know what I'm going to tell you about? I am going to tell you about my recent movie pickups in this series that I'm going to call Adding to the Movie Horde. DVDs, Blu Rays, 4K UHDs, and VHS tapes. Heck, maybe even some Laserdiscs at some point. Well, I have them all on my shelf in the green room, where I also have all my CDs, cassettes, and vinyls. Now, I'd say I add to both these pretty equally pace-wise, you dig? But I've been getting some real good shit in the movie department and some ho-hum stuff in the music department. Like, don't get me wrong, I fucking love Polka. Myron, Floren, and Frankie Yankovic are great. But you guys don't want to hear about my ever-growing collection of polka, mariachi, bagpipes, and harmonica music. At least I hope not. Nah, y'all probably want to see the basic shit, like Eli Roth's Thanksgiving, a movie about a killer in a pilgrim mask. The gore effects in this flick are absolutely insane, and I picked it up because I heard it was really solid, and let's face it, at the time we hadn't really been on a winning streak when it came to horror movie slasher icons. Like, besides Art the Clown, what else had we gotten? Winnie the Pooh? Steamboat fucking Willie? I'm going to talk about my latest addings to my movie collection in this episode of Adding to the Movie Horde. Basically, what I've collected over the last 6 months or so that I find interesting or noteworthy. No music, just movies and some movie-adjacent stuff. Evil Dead Rise. I love the Evil Dead movies. 1, 2, and Army of Darkness are great, so when I heard they were making another, I figured, why not? And I got this. Not a big fan of the cases on a lot of these new DVDs, though. This and Thanksgiving both have the problem of it feels like every time I look at them, they're going to shatter into a million pieces. Now this is a case. Hobo with a Shotgun is one of my favorite movies. It's grindhouse gold through and through. One of the most unapologetically violent, vile, and fun movies out there. Rutger Hauer plays a hobo who gets off a train into a shithole of a town run by crooked cops and gangsters. One day he snaps and starts picking off every scumbag he can find one by one. The movie is absolute carnage and a ton of fun, so you know I had to pick up this fancy Blu Ray with the pop-up book cover. It's loaded with special features and it's got some postcards that I will never use as long as I live. But it's great to finally have this in my collection. I also picked up the 4K UHD release of Deadpool and Wolverine. I don't own the first two. But when I saw this for cheap, I figured, why not buy it since I just saw it in theaters and I honestly want to rewatch it. I don't normally give two shits about Marvel movies anymore. Every character I like has either been turned into a cartoonish, unserious ghost of their former selves, I'm looking at you, Thor, or is dead. But Deadpool I can get behind. I like the first one, I love the second one, and the third one is even better. Genuinely, I think it's the best of the trilogy. I also picked up X-Men because Wolverine. I also added to the Killer Tomatoes horde as well, but I picked up the Killer Tomatoes Eat France promo VHS tape meant for video stores back in the day, the Killer Tomatoes Blu Ray with a small Killer Tomatoes poster, and this sweet mint-condition Dr. Gangrene doll with both original hand tags. Killer Tomatoes and to a lesser extent Tremors are really the only two things that I go out of my way to collect for. I only pick up movies I actively want to watch, but when I see a new way to watch Killer Tomatoes, I'm gonna get it if it's not too expensive, as well as Tremors. And speaking of Tremors, I picked up the Tremors 3 Back to Perfection and Tremors 4 The Legend Begins Blu Rays. Tremors 3 is pretty no-nonsense, was just the behind-the-scenes documentary that almost every DVD copy comes with, and I just really wanted to upgrade my old Attack Pack DVD version. But Tremors 4 comes with all kinds of cool extras, deleted scenes, outtakes, a behind-the-scenes documentary, director commentary, featurettes on the making of the Dirt Dragon puppets, and Graboid miniatures. Even that one short film the director made about movie film coming to life. Yeah, both are good, but Tremors 4 is the obvious winner for special features alone. Not to mention it's more solid on the actually being a good movie front. I'm sorry, Tremors 3. Tremors 4 is just objectively better in most ways. Also, while scrolling around on eBay, I found the Blu Ray for Class of Nukem High. It has a whole bunch of special features, like a commentary track with the director, a couple of the actors, and some deleted scenes. It's pretty solid, and I genuinely love this movie. Just like how I love E.T. on Atari. Not a movie, but a movie licensed game. I collect the shit out of Atari. I've got one of those Atari 2600 Pluses that plays original Atari 2600 games and 5800 games, and I gotta say, it's pretty fucking cool. It's basically just a way to play Atari games but through HDMI. I managed to find a collection of all the Friday movies as well. Friday, Next Friday, and Friday After Next. I've seen the first one, but I haven't seen the others, and it was $10, so I couldn't pass up a deal like that. Just like how I couldn't pass up this Scary Movie 4 bonus, not for resale bonus disc. I got this at a thrift store near my house, and I have no idea why or how they had it. But I mean, I had to get it. I love Scary Movie 4. Yeah, I said it. I had to pick it up. Even if I didn't like the movie, I was still going to get this, because it's just so weird. Just like Slam Dunk Ernest, this is real. I love the Ernest movies. Yeah, I said it. Ever since I was a kid, I loved Ernest Scared Stupid, Ernest Goes to Camp, Ernest Goes to Africa, Ernest Goes to Jail, not Ernest Saves Christmas. But this was one I hadn't seen yet. It's got Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, you know, the guy from Airplane. Also, I guess he did some basketball at some point, but still, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, isn't it? You know, the guy from Airplane. I also got 8 Crazy Nights, my favorite Hanukkah movie.
Bum, bitty, 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 bum, bum. Bum, bitty, 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 bum. Bum, bitty.
Frogman, one of the greatest cryptids of all time, finally got his very own movie, and I had been waiting since this movie was announced to get my hands on it. So you know I snatched that shit right the fuck up when I saw it at Walmart a couple months ago. Mad Monster Party, one of the few Rankin and Bass classics not related to Christmas, written by two of the dudes from Mad Magazine, and art direction by a guy who would go on to do some of the most iconic art for Mad Magazine, which, by the way, Mad Magazine, huge part of my childhood, holds a very special place in my heart, and this movie also holds a very special place in my heart, and still holds up today pretty well as a pretty cool stop-motion flick. You can tell it was written by the dudes from Mad. It's got that goofy, spoofy, witty, humored nature that I love about the magazine. I love this movie, and it's great to finally have it in my collection on Blu Ray. Seriously, when I was a kid, I rented this thing like every week for 2 years probably from the library. And now for something completely different. Late Night with the Devil, because Exorcist 1 and 3 are two of my favorite movies of all time, and I heard this was in the same sort of wheelhouse. Also, Polka Dot Man is in it. I love Polka Dot Man. Dodgeball, a true underdog story, unrated, also known as just Dodgeball, a true underdog story, because this adds, and I shit you not, less than 5 minutes of new content and like one swear. So it's basically just the regular version except on Blu Ray. I love this movie, one of the best sports parody movies of the 2000s, up there with Kingpin, Balls of Fury, Semi-Pro, and The Benchwarmers. And it's probably the best out of all those, though Kingpin might have something to say about that. Oh yeah, and this. The Gingerdeadman Collection, starring the Gingerdeadman. It has Gingerdeadman, Gingerdeadman 2, Passion of the Crust, Gingerdeadman 3, Saturday Night Cleaver, Gingerdeadman vs. Evil Bong, and of course, the Ginger Weed Man. I like schlock, okay? The movies also came with an exclusive Blood Splatter Gingerdeadman Tiny Terror figurine as well. It all comes in this box, and inside of that box is a giant fucking cookie tin. Full Moon Features, the guy who made this movie, as well as the Evil Bong series, and probably most famously, the Puppet Master series, have always done a really, really good job with these big box set releases of their movies. The price is usually pretty fair for what you're getting, and it's always super high quality. There's this Evil Bong stash box, which is just really nice with all the Evil Bong movies, plus Ouija's for some reason. There's the frankly amazing Puppet Master set that comes in a nice Puppet Master themed suitcase that's made to look like the one that Toulon has in the movies, and this really nice box set of the 3 Blu Rays for the Primevals, which is a super good throwback to classic Harryhausen adventure movies. I have this, and the box is real wood with leather and metal accents. It came with some nice enamel pins and some postcards. I still don't know why movies feel the need to have these, but okay. And 3 discs: the theatrical cut, the director's cut, and the making of documentary. All these are pretty cool, and I'm planning on picking up the Evil Bong stash box at some point as well. Both this and Gingerdeadman were $120, and I think they were both very much so worth it. Gingerdeadman obviously has more stuff on the actual movies side of things, but ultimately I just love the presentation of Primevals more, plus I got a free metal lunchbox and this magazine, so that's cool. Yeah, I think they just needed to get rid of some stock overflow, but hey, if I ever need to go back to elementary school, I'm gonna have the coolest lunchbox out there, and probably get arrested for going to an elementary school as a full-grown adult without a child. I don't remember the pile of the movie Horde being this deep.